one more time before I begin, because I will say that it is kind of jam-packed with a bunch of... So, now my father's a fellow who's living quite comfortably, knows what he likes, and is just where he wants to be, reaping rewards of a life planned out carefully. His is a salty dog's tale of success, and here's where I breathe. While good fortune has smiled upon him, we know that he doesn't believe in the word serendipity, balancing checkbooks to fund folly on the sea. That was a thing he would have to finesse. That was a thing he would have to finesse. Messing about on a boat on the GSB, guiding the mist across the bay. Oh, so masterfully Jack came of age at the helm he held ably, making some money while making the man. His longer range goal was ensuring security both for the nation and for future family. Head to the burgeoning aerospace industry, that was his motto, a pretty shrewd plan. Sailing, sailing over the bounding main, for many a stormy wind shall blow where Jack comes home again. This is great. Sailing, sailing over the bounding main, for many a stormy wind shall blow where Jack comes home again. Sponsored by Grumman, a Long Island company, Jack went to Cambridge to study at MIT. Center your effort on airborne stability, learn it real good, and we'll stick by your side. Roller pitch, lift and drag, apogee, perigee, altitude, attitude, all came so naturally. Aerodynamics and cranial surgery, 4 years of college, he'd earned a free ride. 4 years of college, he'd earned a free ride. For Grumman, Jack toiled for 4 decades. For 4 decades, dutifully crafting proposals and contracts, impeccably working long hours to nourish his progeny. His was a work ethic never in doubt, never to part with a greenback too readily, taking great pains to invest and save carefully, watching with interest compounding continuously. He liked to say, make do or do without. So Jack, the king of the deep blue sea. Jack, a hero to you and me. In a pinch, Jack's a cinch, she's every inch of a sail. Now don't get me wrong, this man didn't live miserly, rather he'd spend time and money on things that he knew would improve all our lives qualitatively. When I say our, you know what I mean. A boat is a hole into which one pours currency, weekends in spring, summer, fall, and your energy, even if sailing ain't all it's cracked up to be. Water was one thing on which we'd be weaned. Water was one thing on which we'd be weaned. Nirvana and Mandalay, then there's the Mercury sailboard and layers are all purchased, so eagerly tacking and jiving we're simply our destiny, soaking the sun up and sopping wet shore. The saltiest know of the sailor's duality, whether to round the marks or to float casually, ever a centrist of sailing philosophy. Jack held the rum line between these two ports. Sailing, sailing over the bounding main, for many a stormy wind shall blow where Jack comes home again. Sailing, sailing over the bounding main, for many a stormy wind shall blow where Jack comes home again. Fitting the boat up for 2 weeks of cruising, we stowed drinks and victuals away so deliberately. Ice was the most highly valued commodity as we'd embark on a fortnight away. From shelter to block to the hunk they call Cuddy, to Newport to Wachell to Greenport, then Buddy. We'd limbo the mast for a shinnecock shimmy, then glide back on home to cap off our vacates. And glide back on home to cap off our vacates. The opposite tack was off sounding twice annually, springtime from Watch Hill to blockheading, easterly autumn to Deering for sake of variety. Fritzmel and Chris Orgine anchored the crew. I joined these motley boys sometime before 90. Sleeping on deck was the price I played willingly. Racing with Jack was my favorite activity. That or the drinking or eating.
Call from Jen Nicole.
Jack, the king of the deep blue sea. Jack, a hero to you and me. In a pinch, Jack's a cinch, she's every inch of a sailor. Insight into this man never came easily, rarely the sort to express his thoughts verbally, choosing to dry dock his words so thoroughly. He held his playing cards close to the vest, yet I have a moment that's etched in my memory, something I'll take all along through my history. While I bet he won't recall it specifically, I'll not forget it, I have to confess. I'll not forget it, I have to confess. He shared a thought with me quite unexpectedly once on a night when the stars shone so brilliantly, Mandalay tugging the roto so peacefully, anchored in Block Island's vast Great Salt Pond. He lay in the cockpit directly across from me, Dodger deflecting the cool air effectively, wavelets caressing the hull imperceptibly, ship sails are chiming from somewhere beyond. Woo. Sailing, sailing over the pounding main, for many a stormy wind shall lower, Jack comes home again. Sailing, sailing over the pounding main, for many a stormy wind shall blow, where Jack comes home again. Breaking a mutual silent serenity, he said, imagine how different our lives would be if we could never take in all this scenery. One simple sentence, but more than it seems. Thinking about that which he did confide in me, I realized it was his ideology. Work hard, hard work combined with a sense of frugality opens the doors to indulging your dreams. Opens the doors to indulging your dreams. Now nobody's perfect and nobody's meant to be. Let's not give in to revisionist history. You might admit to some things you do differently based on the lifetime of lessons you've had. So we celebrate you, Jack, at 10 years past 70. Please tell us, please, too, if you're proud of your legacy. Talk to us now, just as I say emphatically, happiest birthday. I love you, dear Dad. Jack, the king of the deep blue sea. Jack, a hero to you and me. In a pinch, Jack's a cinch. She's every inch of a sailor. And that really was his thing. You know, work hard, do the right thing, save your money, but indulge on the things that make a difference. And I think it took me a long time to figure that out. But I think that there's an awful lot to be said for that as a motto. And I feel really blessed to have had the benefit of his implicit instruction and a little bit of his explicit instruction in order to help me figure out who I want to be. So,
here's the Jack.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Here's
Jack.
Jack.
Here's Jack. Yeah.
Please, carry on.
As you were.
I feel like I feel as though I was somewhat privileged to have experienced a little glimpse into my father's professional life, which the rest of you guys, my siblings, didn't really get to see because, you know, Dad worked for Grumman for his entire career, and Grumman, of course, was a secure place. You didn't go and visit Dad in the office, or let's go pop in and pick up Dad after work. You just didn't go there. You had to have a badge to get into Grumman. Who are the Grummanites in the room?
Yes.
A couple of Grummanites.
Yes.
Right,
Or
very, you know.
Marlboro cigarettes, one or the other.
Or packets of Lucky Strikes. Back when the
Yeah.
photos were round,
That's
Dad said you
correct.
could hold up a package of Lucky
That's right.
Strikes and it looked like a badge to them. But really, the security was better than that.
No, it wasn't.
No one-
Not very much.
But I in the summers of my college years, back in the late 70s and early 80s, I worked for Grumman in the summer, and it was just really neat. Dad and I commuted together. Most, you know, that doesn't happen a lot. Parents and children commuting to work together. But we drove it together all summer, all day. And it was just neat to see him in his environment. But what was very interesting to me was to meet people in the departments where I worked, because almost everybody, or not almost everybody, many people at Grumman knew Dad because they would come in from different departments to work on the proposals, and he would work with these guys in this plant, those guys in that department, and you know, he just knew a lot of people. And when people learned what my name was and that I was Jack Saxon's daughter, there was always this sort of like they were almost like step back, like they were sort of in awe and a little afraid, and I think they thought maybe they had to be a little afraid of me as well. But I said, no, that's okay, really. I'm afraid of him too.
Mom and I had the pleasure of meeting a gentleman who also worked with Grampy since he was 20 and for many, many years. And he was just telling the story about how he went to Grampy with a proposal. Grampy took it, read it incredibly fast because he was that fast of a reader. And when he returned it, it looked like a blood battle because he had marked it up so well and was a complete stickler for grammar and format and all of that. And so the man was explaining it like he was taken aback by how much red was on that paper. But the part that was really amazing to hear was that after he fixed the painstaking errors, he held on to that document that Grampy had corrected, and he used that as the format for all of his future proposals. And he didn't have it to this day, but for many years afterwards, he carried that and used that as a prime example of how to do things right.
Who was that?
Who was it? It was, I knew who it was.
Oh, tell us.
Schaefer?
Dick Schaefer?
Dick Schaefer. Dick Schaefer, I think. And he said that, he's a college-educated person, and, he wrote this piece, and Dad said, you have to write this so clearly, because people who are reading it basically have a high school education. So it had to be written plainly and clearly so anyone could understand it, and that was part of it. So, yeah, it was Dick Schaefer.
So how about the time that we had writing the notice for Newsday and Islip Bulletin, knowing that Dad was the way he was? Do you know the conversations that happened in our family room? Is it a comma here or a semicolon? And I mean, this went on
The
for
death
like
notice.
hours, the death notice.
Death notice that we wrote.
We were scared to death we were gonna, sorry for that pun, but anyway, that we were gonna mess things up and not use the right grammar, so, yeah, we would not want Dad to be reading it and say,
Look, Grammy.
Can I say something? I knew Jack Saxon.
Rick, you have to say who you are. You have to say who you are. Remove the unruly.
Rick O'Brien. Jack Sachs was first my parents' good friend. Then he was Captain Jack, and I think at one time, believe it or not, he actually let me take the helm of his sailboat, and probably for about a minute, then corrected me. But nonetheless, and then I knew him because he was a boater. I'm in the boat business, and we did a lot of work on his boats and helped him out. And he was the guy that would just, I work with the boating industry. A bunch of knuckleheads basically are in the boating industry, and we're all kind of coconuts. And Jack would come down and bring this level of expertise to what we're doing. And whatever we did in the yard, if we were moving cement blocks to block up his boat, or putting a through-hole fitting on, he always just always took it to the next level. And I think he gave so many people, from my world, just enlighten them, just heighten their value of what they do. And anything he did, if we're putting a through-hole fitting on a boat or painting the bottom of a boat, and he was never condescending, but he would say, if you just did this like that, it would be a little bit, and these knuckleheads were probably smoking dope, as they're painting the bottom of his boat. If you just put down the joint and push it this way, you do a nicer job. And there was no one that didn't love Jack Saxon in the boatyard. I being one of them. He was one of my biggest fans. He was one of my biggest. I was one of his biggest fans.
Thank you.
Wonderful man. Thank you.
As the son-in-law, I married into a boating family, and these are sort of like random thoughts. The one time that I was ever afraid of Jack was the few times that I was on a sailboat in a race. And I knew nothing about sailing, not like you folks who grew up on the ocean, on the Great South Bay. But so I was afraid to pull the line the wrong direction or do something the wrong way. But everyone's talking about, tough and hard and precise. And when I think of Bart, I think of his whiskey sours. But there's also a soft side of him that he doesn't reach out to you and say, look at me, look at this soft side, but he has it. And I think when you think of the soft side, you look at this table over here and you see his grandchildren because he did everything for them. He came to our house when it was being built and he spent hours building a play set with a slide and swings and a little fort. Not out of a kit or a set. He made everything himself, crafted it. Sandbox. We still have a box of blocks that he made that will probably be passed on to their grandchildren. I mean, they're just, you know. But if you looked at any of those pictures today, you saw him on the floor playing Lego with trains in the sand. He just, you know, again, he didn't call out and say, look at me, I'm playing with my grandchildren. He just did it. And you look at them and it's passed on. And I think that's soft side and that'll last forever. So.
Well, I would like to say something in my defense.
Who are you?
No.
Who are you?
Can we see some identification?
Can you turn around and face?
Yeah. I've told a number of people about all the mean things that he did. Like when I was behind a woman in the grocery store in the checkout, and she had a big load of stuff, and she had this little infant, and she was holding the infant and trying to take all the stuff out of the car. And I said to her, could I hold the baby for you? And she said, oh, thank you, that would be so nice. And I took the baby, and Jack was standing somewhere over there, and he calls over, Kathleen, be careful. Remember, you dropped the last one. We were at in the farmer's market, like, shopping for vegetables and stuff. And I was over here, and he was several bins away from me. He holds these green things up, and he says, "Hey, Kathleen, you want to take a leak?" And then there was a time that we met our friends, the Kimmels, somewhere, and Bob Kimmel said that they had just taken his mother over to the Senior Citizen Center over here in Islip, and that she really enjoyed it. So Jack turns to me and he said, you know, that would be a nice thing for your mother if we get her to sober her up. And I told everybody this, that he likes to tease my mother. My mother was so happy that he married me. I don't know. He always said that he married me because she finally caught him. But, whenever my mother's name came up after she died, he'd say, "Did you hear that, Henrietta?" So not so long ago, I said, "How do you like being down there with Henrietta?"